Hey there, Aussie with you here, and in this video I'm going to show you how this man right here was able to win his 18th Grand Slam title at the age of 35. It was an amazing match, and I got to watch it with my wife until 4:30 in the morning. We had to wake up next day at 7 to drive my daughter to a birthday party at Chuck E. Cheese, so needless to say we were a little sleep deprived. But in this video I'm going to show you an analysis showing some stats that are really telling and what this means for you, how you can win more matches, and how you can have more fun on the court in the process. So without any further ado, let's head on over to the computer and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So as you probably know, Nadal has historically given Roger all kinds of trouble. He's won 23 matches head-to-head to Roger's 12. So that means historically Nadal has beaten Roger just about 66% of the time. So going into this match, you know that Rafa was super confident. So why was Roger able to pull off the upset? Well, there are a few key things to look at. We know that Nadal is one of the fiercest competitors, if not the fiercest, from the back of the court. He hits the second heaviest forehand in the world in terms of RPM, just behind Jack Sock. So this creates a ton of topspin and allows him to hit the ball really hard while keeping the ball in the court. Gives him a bunch of safety. And he's still a great mover, even at the age of 30, which allows him to run around a lot of backhands and hit a ton of forehands. His backhand's not too shabby either. So what did this mean for Federer? Well, in the match, Fed knew he wasn't going to be able to sit back on the baseline and trade ground strokes with Nadal, and the stats prove that. Federer won only 70 of 145 points from the back court, which is right around 44%. So what do you do if you're Roger? Well, he moved in. He moved in again, and he kept moving in. Federer won 29 of 40 points when he came to the net, which was right around 73%. And he won 10 of 13 points when he served and volleyed, which was good for 77%. And this was done with the handy-dandy calculator. I know I probably couldn't have pulled that off on my own. So here's what's interesting. You heard just about everyone saying in order for Federer to have a chance in this match, he was going to have to play quick points. So let's check out the stats. In points that were 0 to 4 shots, and the point was ended in less than 4 shots, 4 or less shots, Federer won 95 points to Nadal's 86, which was good for +6. In the 5 to 8 shot rallies, Federer won 37 points to Nadal's 34, which is good for +4. And even in 9+ shot rallies, an area that everyone would have guessed Nadal had a huge advantage, Federer won 18 points and Nadal only won 16. That means Federer had the advantage in every category, which is insane. And it makes me start to wonder if this guy Federer is even human. If you watch the match, you know the first 4 sets were split. We had 2 apiece. And I want to take you to the 5th set, which was some of the best tennis I think Roger's ever played. And let's look at his serve first, because as we know, when Roger's serving really well, he tends to fare pretty well. Federer won 12 of 15 points on his first serve in the 5th set, which was good for 80% of the points. And 8 of 14 on his second serve, which was right around 57%. So if he did really well on the serve, how did he do on the return? Well, Nadal was serving pretty well. If you watched that match, you saw Nadal was hitting his spots. And Fed was repeatedly able to neutralize that by making 82% of his returns, which is astronomical. Now, if you followed the rivalry, what's the way that Nadal has always been able to dominate Fed? Why is it that Nadal has won 66% of the matches? He's made a career out of attacking Federer's backhand. But what happened in the 5th set? Roger hit 8 backhand winners, which is more than the previous 4 sets combined. He added 8 more forehand winners in the 5th set, which gave him 28 forehand winners for the match. And when you add that together, Roger at age 35, 5 years since his last major, coming off a 6-month break from tennis, facing his arch rival, who he has historically had troubles beating in the 5th set, which nobody would have guessed he had a chance, being down a break at 3-1, you get one of the most courageous victories in the history of tennis, and a match that our grandchildren will be watching, wishing they could have seen. Okay, most importantly, what does this mean for you? What can you learn from this if you're in your 50s or 60s and you play 2 to 3 times per week? Well, clearly you should get a bandana and start speaking in a Swiss accent. I mean, that just seems to be a winning formula. But what can you do tactically to win more matches? Let me give you 3 tips that'll help you the next time you're on the court, you're playing a match right away. Tip number 1 is make your first serve. Remember, 80% of the first serve point won for Fed. Consciously or subconsciously, your opponent is not thinking attack as much on the first serve as he is on the second. And if you have a really good serve, he's probably thinking defensively. So go for that first serve, even if it means taking a little bit off it. It'll take your opponent out of the attacking mindset. Tip number 2 is win the first point of the game. And we'll go into a lot of the tactics on this in a future video. Roger won 100% of the games in the 5th set where he won the first point. This gets you playing in the lead. And subconsciously it gets your opponent thinking he's on the defense and he's got to do something drastic to make up ground on you. And tip 3, I want you to keep a winning pattern but change a losing one. I heard this from somewhere. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Unfortunately, I see a lot of club players fall victim to this. They fall in love with one of their shots, like their cross-court forehand, but they don't see that their opponent is actually winning 60% of the points in that pattern. So find out what works and do more of that. And if you have something that's not working, change it up and find something that does. So just remember these 3 things. Make your first serve, win the first point, and keep a winning pattern, change a losing one, and you'll see an increase in the points and the matches won, and you'll definitely have a lot more fun on the court. Thanks so much for watching this video. I had a great time making it for you. If you're interested in how Federer trains, and it was how he was able to make history by winning his 18th Grand Slam title, I've created a PDF for you that reveals Roger's secret practice routine, and it walks you through the exact 12 steps that Roger has used to prepare for his matches and has allowed him to become widely known as the greatest of all time. You can have it for free just by clicking on the link somewhere on this video and grabbing it. Thanks again for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.